Welcome to Kind of Adulting. My name is Simone, and I'm joined by my two friends, Jordan and Elise. We've known each other since middle school, high school-ish, and we're taking on our early 20s together. In this podcast, we hope to share our daily challenges, funny stories, and overall experiences living in big cities and taking on post-grad life. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Kinda Adulting.
Yay!
Yay! Yay!
That was pretty good in comparison to the last few episodes. You know, Elise and Jordan be struggling. But today, I don't know if you guys could tell, but there were a few more yays than normal. We are joined by the Cocoa Diaries. So this is a group of 6 college students. I believe that was right. 6, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes. Look at me.
Uh-huh.
And today we're joined by 2 of the members of the Cocoa Diaries, Reagan and Kalani. And so first, we were just wondering if you guys could say a quick little bit about yourselves, you know, where you're from, and maybe some of the things you're doing while in college, you know, whatever you'd like to share with the listeners.
My name is Reagan Nesbitt. I'm a third-year business administration student at the illustrious Florida A&M University, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
I just want y'all to, before Kalani goes, this is like our 4th take, and Reagan's the illustrious has
every
weekend.
time.
Every take has been really at 100%.
That's the
time.
HBCU stuff. Like, we gotta represent.
Every time.
Well, hello, my name is Kalani Franklin. I am from Atlanta, Georgia also. I am a junior public health major, public relations minor at the Real GSU, aka Georgia Southern University.
Yay!
Welcome, guys. We're excited to have you.
Thank you for
having
having us.
Very excited. Thank you for bearing with us.
Of course.
Can you guys share a little bit more about your platform and what you guys are looking to do with it?
Cocoa Diaries was created by, as you were saying, the 6 of us. We're all best friends, and we decided to create a platform for Black girls in college because it is very difficult for us to be seen and feel noticed and represented. So we just wanted to make a platform where girls can feel like they're represented in any space that they're in.
We also aim to create a safe space for Black women to express their creativity, professionalism, lifestyle, and academics. And one of our missions is to make sure that every young Black woman is represented on our page and on our website.
That's great. And I think that's really relatable for us. You know, we were joking earlier about how we're a little bit older, right? But we've definitely had our fair share of like not feeling seen or really trying to find a space within, you know, corporate environment, organization, etc. So I think with our platform as well, we're really trying to share different perspectives, but also just share some of our experiences with that too, right? And more in the corporate setting. So it's really cool that you guys are showing that from the college space, right? Because I think that we can all really relate to, you know, very similar struggles that us as Black women have, you know, I guess, experienced, or there's another word I was trying to use, I can't think of it, but I think it's very relatable on all levels, you know.
Definitely.
So that's a really cool platform.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And kudos to y'all too.
Yeah, this is great too, because kind of adulting, that's that awkward phase that we all gotta go through.
Like, you're not sure, but you're sure, but you still don't know.
Yeah. So I love this. Thanks for having us, y'all.
Of course, yeah.
I still feel like I just graduated college. Like, I know it's like almost a year and a half now. Not even, but like a year and
a little bit over, yeah.
And yeah, I think that like it's like that's why I reach out to you guys, because I think it's really similar, kind of that feeling. Like it doesn't really go away once you like graduate school. It's still like trying to find your community, trying to find who you are. They're like a Black young person in the workplace or in like it's in life, and it's weird. It's weird, and I feel like you don't talk about like that transition from like your early 20s a lot. I feel like a lot of shows, like Insecure is my favorite show ever.
Yes.
It's like on your like, you know, your late 20s or early 30s, but we don't talk about like the early 20s and like the weird time of, you know, trying to, you know, figure your life out.
Definitely.
And so, before we start, I guess, on our regular routine schedule, we do like to do a quick little check-in. I know we kind of discussed some things earlier about your virtual schooling and everything, but how are you guys doing? Like, is everyone hanging in there this week? I know it's a shortened week, so that's bomb.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
School this week was a little interesting. I had to wear like suits on Zoom, but it's like from the waist up. So I only had to wear that, but I had to do that twice this week. I wasn't a fan of it, but I did it. But that was it. It was a good week.
For me, school, it was okay. It's routine. Everything feels, it's a routine, but it's not a routine. It's just the motion of waking up, getting on Zoom, going to work, coming back, doing homework, waking up, getting on Zoom, so
Yeah.
it was okay. I mean, it could be worse. So I'm just happy to be alive and wake up
Amen.
every day. So.
Yes.
How about y'all? How was your past
Y'all
week?
too.
Oh, I be asleep.
okay.
I feel that.
Now, I was gonna say, honestly, you're talking about like how you're like tired and like the Zoom, everything. It is the same for us working. This is just not fun. I think so. I just started a new role because I'm in a rotational program, and the hardest thing for me is like when you're in a role that you're used to, you can really like you can relax, right? Because when your busy times are. Like now that I'm in a new role, it's like I have to learn new stuff, and it's just so much going on, and I'm not able to like get any rest in, and I'll just be tired, like when can I try to sneak in some type of nap? I don't like this anymore.
It's so weird because I used to nap so much when I was physically going to class, and now that I'm not as much, I don't get that daily like nap resetting, and I miss it so much.
Same. Being in the house or apartment or whatever all day long, it's just kind of draining. You want to change your environment. I would never go to my study room, but now I go to the study room just to get out my bedroom.
Yeah. And my week, well, I don't work right now. I'm trying to find a job, so that is my job. But I've really been chilling this week. I was like, it's a holiday on Monday, so it's gonna be a holiday all week.
Yes.
So
Feel that.
I've just been like cleaning and stuff like that. I really haven't done very much, but next week we're back on the grind.
Amen.
Back on the job.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Go ahead. Say what you were gonna say.
Oh, I was just saying, I need to just clean. Like like I wish I could hire someone to clean. Like I had the money for that to begin with, but I wish I could just like maybe some little children or something I could find. Like
not little children.
Not the children.
I don't think they would probably do the best job though, right?
At least I'll clean your
That
place
is
for $50.
$50.
You only asking for $50.
I am a deal.
You would eat my
No,
food.
at least you would really at least you would really want me because I keep a
tight ship.
I don't
yeah,
play.
but you're mean. You'd be like, why are you so nasty?
I sure would. I'd be like, I got crumbs on this floor.
And I'd be like, girl, be hired help and be quiet.
No, be quiet.
Quick story, when Elise came, I had my birthday in December. I had some friends come up, and y'all, Elise literally stressed me out because I am just like, I get anxiety when there's too much going on in a very small space.
Yeah.
And like
you
my
live
apartment,
in New York. You picked
my apartment is not small though. That's the thing, right? So my thing was when I told my friends, I'm like, y'all can put your stuff like, I don't know, outside the hall. Like, I don't know, because my room is small. So I'm like, let's organize it outside the room. And Elise comes into my room and like literally starts unpacking shoes, like multiple pairs of shoes, just putting it like on the floor. I'm like, Elise, my room is small. There are 3 people staying with me right now. Like, we can't do this. She's like, Simone, I just wear my, I'm like, can you like, I don't know, can you put them in the closet? Can you like not take them all out? You only gonna be here for 2 days. I was so
How many shoes
like,
did she have?
Like 4 pairs. I'm like, it's too
I don't blame her. I don't blame her.
What?
But see, that wasn't even the problem. We just had to find a better spot. I'm like, you know me, you know how I am. And then when I get anxious, y'all want to say I'm crazy, but I give y'all a warning. You know, I let y'all know what it's gonna be, and then y'all still do it. I was like, these shoes gotta go. We gotta put them in the closet. They can't be out like this.
And then I started asking, can I borrow some of your clothes? And like, I know y'all haven't seen me and Simone. We're a foot apart in height, right? So I was like, can I wear this jacket? And you were like, nah. And I was like, Simone, we're in winter weather. Like, better your clothes get messed up than mine. Like,
I mean,
selfish. Selfish.
Because you see the city weather, you see the city. And yeah, I did want to unpack. I like being spacious. I like, you know, having.
But you can't be spacious in a small room. My room is small. My apartment is reasonably large for a New York apartment. My room is small.
Right.
We don't need that.
Yeah,
It was necessary.
I was
Right.
a guest,
like,
though.
shoes gotta go.
She said I was a guest.
Y'all know, listen, y'all already told us y'all been best friends for years. Y'all know y'all's best friends not really guests no more. They know what they, you know, they like family coming to stay at your house.
Kalani, every time she comes over, I'm like, if I'm not in the same space as I was, she's like, where are you at? That's not our house.
Yes,
right.
I know her house.
Right. I'm like, you're not a guest no more. Sorry,
house.
that treatment is over. Thank you.
Yeah.
But
make me some tea. You were just being, you know, I was just trying to, you know, live my best life. When you came to my apartment, I gave you some apples or something, I'm sure.
You didn't give me no apples. First thing you did was send me to Costco to get the wine for your birthday. Anyway,
I did.
Next we will be having our discussion, so stay tuned. All right, so being that Elise, Jordan, and I are a year out of college, we can honestly think of a few things that we probably did not appreciate while in college. And so even though now we have like this mass amount of freedom, right? Because we're paying our own bills for the most part. You know, some of y'all not paying healthcare right now, so y'all can't relate. But we're paying our own bills. It's like, okay, but we also have these bills that we have to pay, right? Like we have things that are holding us very much accountable. It's kind of like on us now, right? And so when I think about that, I guess my question for you guys is like, or specifically for the Cocoa Diaries girls, what are things like in college that you feel like maybe you don't appreciate, but could possibly end when you guys graduate? Whether that be, you know, how you dress for class, you know, the food that you don't have to prepare, the closeness to your friends, like that is a big one, you know, being able to walk next door and see them. Like, what are things that you feel like you're not going to realize until, you know, it's too late?
I definitely agree with like the proximity to like your friends. I really do miss them, like being able to call up and be like, oh, let's go here real quick, or come meet me here, or let's go to the library. I definitely feel like we'll take that for granted, but also having an advisor and somebody who can tell me what I'm doing, like on track to like graduate, but also like having like a life advisor, I think I'm going to take that for granted. Like somebody telling me what I have to do in order to get here. But now I have to like create that for myself as I go through life.
Yeah,
I also agree with the proximity of friends, but also on-campus organizations. You know, in college, one of my favorite things that I feel most people don't really realize is a thing until they graduate is their ability to connect with so many people in one space, if that makes sense. You know, you have these different organizations you can join. It's just very fun, but I feel like when I get out of college, like, you know, it's just work. It's not, you know, you make your friends at work. That's it.
Yeah.
Girl, we be telling Jordan that all the time because right now she's not like in the corporate space yet. And we're like, listen, girl, you don't want it. It is not that fun. I mean, listen, y'all, like not even trying to be discouraging because it's really cool, you know, being able to work in your field or whatever. But I will say what this year has taught me is like, you know, people ask you what your dream job is. Like I see this on Twitter all the time. I don't have a dream job. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't dream of labor.
My dream is not to work. It's not labor.
Amen.
It is to relax. And if anything that COVID has shown me, I'm like, dang, I just want to go outside. But instead, I'm sitting in this apartment on this freaking computer. Like I be getting tired of this, you know.
I almost wish computers weren't invented at this point.
Right. Like, because guess what? If we didn't have that, we just will all be stuck. We couldn't do any work.
I see y'all next year. Like,
right.
Well, back to the question.
But
going, Simone, is
okay. That's what I was about to start saying. But going back to what Reagan was saying.
See, that's what y'all get. Trying to get snippy. Y'all
but you know, y'all don't
ever
let me talk. So let me talk. Let me
Fine,
talk. Gotta let
fine.
me
Go
talk.
ahead.
So going back to Reagan, what she was saying about like she's gonna miss having a guidance counselor. That's kind of what I was talking about in the other episode, because I just feel like the reason why I haven't gone into like the corporate setting or like went into what I want to do in as a career is because like after college, like there's no like internships for people who graduate. Well, I mean there is, but you have to search like a lot, and it's just like people don't want to hire you unless you have
Work
3-4 years of
experience, yes.
experience. And I'm like, I was working my whole time to pay for school, and so I'm trying to get something that's in my like field, at least, that's gonna pay me, because I'm too grown to be working for free
Amen.
now.
Right.
And it's just like, no, you can't. So it's just like, so where do I go? I know I'm not the only person that's gone this route, but like, how do I get there? Like, you really have to seek mentors and stuff like that, and it's easy to do when you have like professors and stuff. But now I have to like talk to my mom's like friends. Like, that's like the people that I have to talk
Right.
to. So it's weird, like, hey, I'm such and such daughter, or I know
Yeah.
this person through this,
Making
and I'm
connections is
trying
Right.
to,
Networking.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to get to this place. Can you help me get there? And
Right.
it's like, well, I don't know you. Well, yeah, we don't have anything in common, but
Still, help a sister
hello,
out.
I'm trying. Literally. So yeah, I definitely miss that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's really true though. Like I never had a mentor in college. I think maybe just me going to PWY, like I try to make mentors, but it was hard. And I think now that I have like mentors at work, it's definitely a different thing that I'm not used to. Like but then again, like what you said, like it's really hard to, there's no one telling you what to do anymore. No one's telling you the right track. And even my mentors at work, like their end goal is for me to obviously to work for this company. Like they can say they're there for me, but I know like their scope of like expertise is going to be like the company that I work for.
Right.
And it's really hard to find someone that's like, you know what, like end all be all, like we're gonna figure out or track like your career trajectory, because that's just not the case. And then like one thing that I took for granted while like being in school that I think like the kind of doting girls can answer as well. But for me, I told Jordan about this, is that I used to steal food from the dining hall a lot. And like, you can't do that in the real world because it's illegal, right? Like I can't go to Whole Foods like pre-pandemic times with my Tupperware and take from the hot bar and walk out.
And go out.
Yeah.
Because like in school, what you mean? My swipe is I'm going to take everything that I came for the next 2 days. Like I'm gonna give you some bananas, some apples, like I'm gonna get a chicken leg if need be. And you can't do that in the real world. And I have to feed myself every day. And it costs money. It costs a lot of money. I went to get some snacks for this. It cost me $35. I just got some snacks.
Okay. Where'd you go?
No,
Costco?
with the Harris Teeter. I just got a couple.
What did you get?
That's not the point. I just got a couple snacks.
Maybe you need a better grocery list.
Maybe you need to. I'm trying to figure out what costs $35 that are considered snacks.
A lot.
That's a meal. That's like
cost
2
$8.
meals.
I didn't get any. Okay, well, I obviously have a problem. But what I'm saying is
so we can't relate to that part.
I think, and then for me, like one thing that is easier in COVID environment is that people at PWIs, HBCU girls, y'all may think differently. People just show up looking crazy. I would wake up before my geology class, my freshman year, rocks. And I didn't understand the ability of being on time to class. Like I could not do it 10 a.m. to save my life. I would come crusty, like bonnet off. Like one day I literally walked out with my bonnet still on, and I was like, and like took it off like before I walked into the building, like crusty, and no one blinked an eye. But
they come in.
But if you come into the office with your look, you can't just put on your big oversized t-shirt and some shorts. You gotta come like together.
Blouse. Yep.
Yeah.
But I think for Jordan and Simone, like, what are things that you guys didn't appreciate in college that you're kind of like, man, I should have really valued that when I was there?
So I think for me, I played sports in college, so I really didn't have too much time outside of sports and in my classes. But I used to work. So I did like tutoring, and then I was like an intramural sports referee. And I really just did it because it was like, I don't know, on top, like my parents would help me every month, but I was like, okay, this will just be my little like kind of free money, just like to do whatever I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's like even though like I would intern, I would save my money, like that money wasn't really going towards anything. It was just me saving my money to do that. Or maybe it was for spring break. And then the trip or the jobs I would work at school were just like for me to have my nails done or like to get an outfit. And like, I don't know, there just wasn't any like real adult pressures on me. So I just felt really free. Like, okay, I'm just going to play my sports, make my little $65 every week or whatever from working and just like spend it how I want to. And like now it's like, okay, I got to save some money. I got to pay this healthcare bill. I got to, pay for transportation every day. And I don't know, I just felt like a lot more free with, money, for example, but just like in general. And now it's like, even though I kind of run my own life, like, I have to make sure I'm doing a good job at my job because that's my job. Like, I need the money. Like, I need the security, So I think like I just felt a lot more free in college. And then in addition to that, like, with playing sports, okay, maybe I had 30 minutes here and I would go back to my room. I would take a 30-minute nap. And now it's like, I got to be at work all day. I can't take a 30-minute nap.
Yeah.
We don't have sleeping pods like Google. I literally, y'all, sometimes I would go to the bathroom at my job and sit on the toilet. Like, I put the toilet seat down, sit on the toilet and just rest on my knees. Like, literally just to rest my eyes because I'm just like exhausted, and I can't take a nap. That was my one way of like, I don't know, kind of refreshing. Like, it's just different in that sense, and I feel like I didn't, I mean, I did take full advantage of spending my money how I wanted to, but I feel like maybe I didn't appreciate as much like just how free I was, like without all of this responsibility.
Yeah.
So I think Cocoa Diary girls, like you guys are still in school, but you guys are, about to graduate soon, eventually.
On the way.
Thinking about, life after. What do you think is going to change after college? Like, what do you think the big things are going to change, or like, will maybe shock you that are going to change?
Probably the ability to have somebody in my corner. If I'm going through something at school, I have my friends or like my advisor, my teachers who I'm there to relate to or like kind of express what I'm feeling. But after I graduate college and get into like the real world, I don't want to say, you're by yourself, but you are on a different route, So I think that's really going to change, having the ability to have somebody there with me all the time.
Yeah. I think feeling the sense of control is going to change. Like, I know I am somewhat in control of my life because I still do depend on my dad and my like family for things. But at the same time, I know after college, I know the reins are going to be off and it's like, okay, girl, you go ahead and do it. And I know that's going to be kind of scary, but I know that's going to definitely change the sense of control.
And definitely with the money, also paying bills and whatnot. I mean, the only bill I have to pay right now is just my rent, and groceries. But as far as like a car note, a phone bill, health insurance, it all adds up. And that's what I worry about. But I'm secure in the fact that, I'm claiming it. I'm going to get a job.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Claim it now.
Yes.
Yeah. And like, don't let us scare you in that sense. Like, it's honestly a lot of fun too. It's just, I feel like sometimes you have your days where you're like, oh shit, like I'm really on my own.
I'm really grown. Okay.
Yeah.
I really got to make I got to make dinner every day for the rest of my life. Like, if I do transition to a new role, I have to account for myself during that time period or whatever it may be, right? But at the same time, like, we have fun. We go on vacations, we travel, like, to see our friends whenever we want. Like, that's the other cool side. But, it's just, you have to get used to it. And I think the biggest thing you're getting used to, especially for me, was like the 9 to 5 every day.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
I think, Kalani, what you mentioned about not having someone in your corner, I think that does change after college. I will say, I think in college, I was really big about having a person. Like, I feel like a lot of people said, okay, like, that's my person. Like, that's going to be, like, my ride or die friend. Like, this person I go to, like, this is, like, my sister away from home. And I think the biggest thing that I struggled with was coming into, like, my adultness was that, like, you're not going to have an end-all, be-all person anymore for me. Like, I think that's you're not going to have a person who's going to be, like, I will pick you food up, whatever. You will have dependable friends, but I don't think you can rely upon just that person. I think kind of we get to be an adult, you have to have like an array of dependable friends because people all have different schedules and will be different areas. So Jordan and Simone, can you guys confirm, like, what do you think changes the most after college, and like, is that, you know, as bad as you maybe thought it was going to be when it did change?
I think the thing that Reagan was talking about with different control. Yes, control. I had to reel that back in, but it's just it's a lot of options out there, and it's not necessarily right or wrong. So you really have to decide, like, for yourself, like, what is the best decision for you, and not like what's the best decision for your major or what's the best decision to get you into college. Like, it's completely up to you. And like me and Elise were talking about this, we're just like, what do I want to do? Like, what are my hobbies? What are my like? I don't know, because I'm just so used to doing stuff because I had to do it for something else. It's just like, what do I want to do? And like taking the risk of doing what you feel like is best for you, even though it may not be like a right or wrong answer. It's just like completely up to you. It's just a lot for me.
Yeah. Also, there's a lot of consequences too. Like, I think, you know, in school, like, you can join a club or you can kind of do different things to find your interests. Like, think about having so many options, a lot of consequences too. So there's a lot of like money loss if you decide to change job. Like, things have a much higher skill. I think in college you're able to kind of like, let's say you sleep. Okay, good one. Let's say you miss a class. I'm guilty. I oversleep class a lot in my college days.
I do too.
And you know, God just didn't want me there that day. That's what I teach to myself, you know? And so I had my elaborate excuse ready about why I was not there. There was no, you know, response. But in the workplace, I have also overslept my job one day. And it didn't go, you know, I was much more, that fear was in my heart a lot more. So the consequences are much different. Like, you just can't, no one in school, for the most part, is relying upon you, like in class, to be there. Whereas at work, if you don't come, someone's going to be like, you were supposed to get A, B, and C done. So I think that's like the control and also the accountability thing as well. And I think, so what are you guys looking forward to post-graduation? And like, is that like, I know you guys have like, you guys are really close though. I know junior seems like far away, but I'm telling you, like, first semester,
don't scare me.
Second semester senior,
it's gonna go real
like,
fast.
Second semester senior is not like a real life. Like, second semester senior, like, you're already out the door. Like, college is done. But I think, like, what are you guys like looking forward to most? And like, we can let you know something that you should actually be excited about, or if it's actually a real life scam. Like, I was excited to get an apartment. I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be so much fun. I'm gonna have my own place. It's gonna be great. First of all, apartment shopping was horrible.
Really? Why?
There's like big cities, like trying to find an apartment in the summer is like expensive. You get like, I'll find a little listing on Zillow and be like, oh, so cute. Call, sorry ma'am, that was leased 10 minutes ago. I'm like, it was up for an hour. Yes, ma'am. Goodbye.
It's not even it's not even just big cities. It's literally just DC, New York, and like a few places in Cali. Like, we have the worst housing markets that you can find. So like, that's what made it hard. It's just so expensive. So shit's not stuff is not fun, man. It's real stressful.
You've been cursing this whole time.
I know, right? Sometimes I forget I'd be cursing. But
I think one thing that I know, like, I think apartment was a scam. Like, I was excited to have my own place, and like that I was looking forward to, but ended up being like a big headache, and I didn't realize like how stressful it was gonna be. Not that I regret it, but that was me. That was like, oh my god, it's gonna be so much fun. I'm gonna get my apartment. I'm gonna go to Home
You gotta
Goods.
decorate it.
I'm gonna go to Home.
That's paying for the decorations.
I'm gonna go to Home Goods. I'm gonna buy everything. I moved in. I got some water bills. I said, what is this? I didn't use this water. This is not me. And then I didn't even know how I didn't know how to set up a water bill. So I didn't pay water for my apartment. And I was like, so how are they gonna find me? Where does it come through? And I was too scared to ask the man in my apartment complex, like, how do you pay for water? Because I was like, I don't want to think that, like, I'm this young girl. But yeah, I think, you know, back to you guys, like, what are you looking forward to after graduation? And we can let you know if you should actually be excited about that or not.
For me personally, it's in my plans to get my master's degree. So I look forward to, well, when you say graduation, do you also mean like also when you get your master's too, like just completely done with school?
Yeah.
Well,
With
I think so.
undergrad, I think I would say
Yeah, I
undergrad.
think
You're in a
undergrad.
different space then.
Yeah, so for undergrad, what I'm looking forward to most is moving into the space of adulthood, getting an apartment, being more free. I do look forward to working, actually working towards my career. Because right now I just feel like I'm working towards my degree, which is important, but I want to
Yeah.
work towards my career, bettering my career and building my portfolio and my resume in that realm professionally.
I think I'm really looking forward to. I always say, like, I'm ready for life to start. Like, I'm ready to work. I'm ready to travel. I'm ready to see different things. I'm ready to experience new things. And I'm ready for life to start. I don't know if I'm going to need like a little jump start before, because I think I might need one, but I'm definitely ready for like life to completely hit the gas and we get to going.
Right. I'm ready to get into the motions.
Yeah, I
But
wanna
I don't know now that I think about
Well,
it.
no,
Y'all are
and
so
that
cute.
okay. That's
Y'all want to
but
go to
that's what
work?
I.
Y'all, they're like, we want to
But
go to work. I'm like, that's some
yeah,
really
Yeah.
cute
because honestly,
hires.
what Kalani's saying was cute with the word. It's not cute. It's not cute. Like that's kind of downplaying it. That's really good that you think that way,
Well,
because
I'm
maybe
public
you'll have
health, so
maybe
yeah.
maybe you'll have a different perspective. And like, don't get us wrong. Like we do. Like we talk, but we do have, higher aspirations, I guess. Like, so it is cool being able to say that you work for a big firm and that you're doing big things, right?
Right.
Um, and I guess that's what I was trying to say earlier to what Reagan was saying. Like, I wasn't trying, and I don't think we're trying to discourage like the whole adult world. Like, with every phase in life, it has its challenges. But at the same time, there is a certain bit of you that when you graduate, you're like, wow, I'm really on my own. Like
Right.
part of it is exciting.
Yeah.
And like the fact that you do get to move to a new place, which I highly recommend. I
Yes.
recommend everybody go somewhere, but like the fact that you get to move to a new place, potentially get your own apartment that you get to decorate, and like you said, that is fun. And then like you have the freedom to say, we're planning a girls trip, we're going here, I'm about to take these days off. Or just being in these professional organizations with other people like you who are doing the damn thing at a young age, it's exciting. Like, don't get us wrong in that sense. It's fun. Like, you do different things that really make you, like, I guess, very proud of like where you are and the progress you're making. But just like every other phase in life, it has its moments.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, even though we talk smack, we've had a good first year for sure. And like me being in New York, I would go to DC all the time and see them, and like it was fun. Like, I don't know, it's been a tough year at some moments, but for the most part, I feel like it's been very rewarding
back
just
on
being
it,
on your
Yeah,
own.
the highs outweigh the lows, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah. So it's great that you guys are really excited about, going to work, and like some of us want to downplay your excitement, but I think, once you start working and once you're kind of 6 months in, the excitement doesn't fade, but you realize like how much comes a cycle. Like people come, like these people's lives, right? People will work 40 years. Like I remember I realized like my second month in, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to work for like until I'm 60 to retire. Like, what is this? Right? Like,
Ooh, yeah.
and so you're also not with young people anymore. Like, you guys will go into your fields and you may have another person who's the same age as you, but you'll be on teams and you hope your teams are not all 20-year-olds, people who are like 45, 50, have families. And you're like, so you've been working like since you were 20? And they're like, yeah. You're like, oh my God. Like,
Right.
I'm
this
gonna have
is
to do this.
this is wild. And so I think to kind of keep your sanity, because in school you have a lot of things. Like in high school, you go your 4 years and you graduate, and then you go to college and you graduate. Work doesn't have that in cycle a lot of times, right? Like you may get promoted, but like it's not like okay, after 4 years I'm gonna do this, right? Unless you're in the military, for real. Like it's not as cut and dry as
So where
college.
does the drive come from then? Because I know for like a lot of people, the
Yes.
drive for college is graduation, or
Exactly.
I
think that I was saying kind of keep the cycle is really hard. Don't get into the cycle. You have to kind of keep your eye on your self-worth. And I think it's not really the drive, but like, how am I worthy outside of this job? Like, how do I define my self-worth outside of like, since you don't have school anymore, like I define a lot of my self-worth through, academics, what have you. And then when that ended, I was like, you know what? Like, I can't put my self-worth in something fleeting like school or professional life. So it's not really a drive. It's just that how do you live how do you also define your life outside of that? That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think depending on what field you are in, there might be a level you're trying to reach, right? So maybe that's part of your drive, but at the same time, I think like Elise was saying, that's why it's really important to be someone outside of work. Like when you first talk to people and they'll be like, what do you do? And the first thing they're just like, well, I'm a financial whatever. Like, I don't know. I don't see that for myself, right? Like no matter, I feel like how high I make it in a company, I don't want my first response to be what I do as a job. Like, for me, it's really important, like to be involved in other organizations. Like, even when I was in college, I was doing everything. That's kind of what kept me, I guess, sane. Even outside of like, playing sports in college was really like a job that was just so time consuming. So for me, it was like, okay, what am I going to do outside of this? Like, I'm going to work. I was in a sorority, like things like that. So even in this first year, it's been very important for me, like when I've had the opportunity to join an affinity group or something, which affinity groups are kind of just like organizations within a company that connects certain people, right? Like whether it be joining an affinity group or joining a community service organization, like those were like ways for me to keep my identity outside of work so that I don't just feel like that's all I do, I think that's very important, because if you're not doing that, it's like, I don't know, work can fluctuate, girl.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
You don't want
you
it to
could have
consume
days
can
where you're
go.
like, I'm bomb, and you have days I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And if that's all you're doing and that's the only way you're able to, like, I guess, judge yourself in a way, like that could be harmful.
Yeah, where's the joy in that?
There's no joy. And like, that's the thing. You might not ever really find your passion job. You might find certain things in a job that you like.
Right.
But that's why it's important to find, like, what is my passion outside of work, so that I can do other things that are also like enriching me and like making me feel joy, So you have to have that balance. But that's my biggest thing, is like always having things outside of work that you're involved in.
And then to go back to you guys saying that you're like really excited to work and stuff, and press the gas on life. For me, I thought I was gonna be the same way, and then for it to be coming so slowly for me, it really like kind of put me in like a downward spiral, because I felt like I was, like Elise was saying, attaching my worth to like where I was professionally. And after graduation, I continued at the job that I had during college, and I just moved up the ranks there. But in my eyes, when I'm seeing people like, when you compare yourself to other people and they have like all these big jobs and stuff, and I wasn't there, it was just like, oh my goodness, am I doing life wrong? Like, da 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 da. And that's what I was going, like, back to what I was saying about like so many options, because it's just like, I could have done all this other stuff, but it's not what I wanted to do. And the fact that I don't know what I want to do necessarily right now, I'm not trying to rush into it, because I'm not trying to rush into something that I don't like. And I liked where I was at the time. So it's just like, you have to really like set it for yourself. So if it doesn't come to you like the way you think it is, like right now as a junior, you really have to kind of take it as it goes and just understand like where you want to be in life, but also like giving yourself grace if you're not there yet, or as quickly as you want to be there.
I think Simone brought up a good point. Like in college, you introduce yourself with your major or what you do, like, and when you get to real world, what you do is not really as front and center. Like a job is just what you do sometimes to pay your bills and live the lifestyle you want, but it's not a continuation of yourself. It's not as integrated as it is in college, right? Like you don't have we do at work, but you don't have a club meetings at night and stuff like that. It's a little bit different. And so I would just say, make sure you have a life outside of work, because work can't be your end all be all, or you won't have fun.
And also, like, I tell all my friends, like my friend's in law school right now, and she was trying to decide like if she should take an offer and stop interviewing for other company. And I was like, sis, y'all can't forget this is capitalism here, right? Like, if you die tomorrow, like, well, I guess I should say me. If I die tomorrow, my company is going to be on the phone looking for a replacement at my funeral.
Right.
Period. So if I'm dying for a job, like, what do I have to live for? Like, you know, I believe in hard work, don't get me wrong, and I put in my time when it's needed, but at the same time, it's like, they don't care about me in that sense. Why am I killing myself and giving my all, right? Like, when there are other things that I could give pieces of myself to that I would probably enjoy more.
Yeah. And I think that's why it's important that y'all have like a podcast like this and we have our platform too, because these are things outside of like school and work that we do that we care about and that we'll put energy into, and that we feel not even validation, but just feel like, okay, I'm doing something that makes me happy and that it can impact somebody else. And I think that's something that you always should have.
Right. You put your all into it. It's something that, you know, even at its lowest or its highest, is something that you'll give your all into, regardless if you're in the middle of a pandemic. You know, you're still gonna want to wake up and do it, or you know.
Definitely.
I think moving on to like our next question is like, just for the kind of adulting girls, like, was there something that you did a lot in college that you don't really do now? And I think this thing for me is that I had to be in all my friends' faces. Like, that was like really big. Like, quality time with my love language. So like, if I didn't see my so-and-so friends for the week, like, I was like, had to go through my checklist, like, oh, I didn't see so-and-so this week. Like, we're going to go to a dining hall tomorrow. Like, I need to be in everyone's faces because I need to feel like that's what friendship is.
Me.
And I think in my adult years now,
I agree. I
have serious FOMO, so I'm always trying to be in the mix at all times. But I'm not in the mix as much. And I've been working on, you know, I used to be in the streets before COVID.
So
how
have you been during the pandemic?
I struggle. I FaceTime a lot of people, but I do a lot of FaceTimes and stuff like that. But I felt like me and my friends were not cool if I did not see them once a week. And I think in the adult world now is that like, I wasn't seeing them just to see them, to like actually spend time with them. It was more like a job. Like, if I didn't see you for the week, like, man, like, I'm not being a good friend. Like, I need to step up and make sure that we spend time together, right? And I think when I don't do that as much anymore in my life. Like, I don't have my friends in rotation. Like, I try to see my friends when I can, but it's not like I don't force myself to be in their space at all times, because it just made me crazy. Like, I was just like, man, like, I would be tired and I would like compromise certain people to see them. 'Cause I'm like, I need to be in your face because I don't know I'm going to see you next. And I feel like now it's more like, I hope to see you. I hope we can work it out, but you're still going to be my friend if I can't see you like this time period. Like, example, like, Simone came to DC like January, and I didn't see her for a family thing, right? And I think like in college I'd have been like, okay, like, Simone didn't see me, like, I need to see her. But it was more kind of like, I'm gonna see Simone next month. Like, you know, like, I mean, like, sometimes schedules don't work out, and like those people still love you and you still love them if you didn't like bend your back to see them. If that makes sense.
Oh, can I piggyback real quick? Because I think even in school right now, a lot of people don't get that. Like, some friends are like, if you don't talk to them for a certain amount of time, or if you don't like try to reach out to them, like, oh, we not cool anymore. Like,
that was me.
See me,
and I
you're trying to talk to me. Like, what's going on? But you got to understand, like, I'm busy or I have something to do. I don't love you any less. I still think you're
I am the complete opposite of that.
Yeah,
y'all. I will not talk to somebody for a month, and I'll see you and I'll pick up like nothing ever happened.
Yes, that's what I was just about to say. I couldn't even be friends with those type of people, because I think if anything this last year, my like I don't know, individualist like side in a way. I don't want to say that in terms of like selfishness, but I guess at the same time, kind of. I've always been like a kind of a loner. I feel like it's only increased, like, because I couldn't see people. And so it became even more of like just me doing things by myself. But like, you're so right. Like, that would drive me crazy as a friend, because I have friends that I literally talk to. I don't know, something's going on. They call me, and that's just what it is. Like, I don't have the energy really to talk to people all day, every day. Like, you know, there's moments, but I couldn't do that. That would drive me insane. And it's like, especially when you get, oh, sorry, I was just gonna say, when you get out of college, it gets worse, because like, you have jobs. Like, I was thinking today, like, I didn't even check my text messages today. Like, I just didn't have a moment to really do that. You know, you don't have the time to do that. And it's no hard feelings.
No, yeah, and sometimes it's like when I get in my head and I just really don't feel like talking to people. It's just no, it's nothing specific. I
Yeah.
just kind of need to declutter with myself. I luckily, thank God, I don't have friends that are like that. You know, like you're not my friend no more. But I just kind of feel like I need to pull the strings back and just self reflect, and then I can go out. Like I said though, I could not talk to my friend for like 2 months, but when I see you, it's gonna
Hey
be like nothing ever
girl.
happened.
Hey,
Like what's
what's
Mhm.
good? I don't.
But I understand that life gets in the way, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But to answer, I guess to answer your question, Elise, uh, I don't know if there's something that I did a lot of in college that I don't do anymore. I feel like maybe I spent more time with friends in college than I do now. Maybe that's the opposite because like I was roommates with my best friends. So we were always in each other's face and it wasn't like a forced thing. It was just how it was. And like, I don't know. Now it's like I really do so much by myself all the time. And my parents will call me like, "What are you doing?" I'll tell them, "By yourself?" Yeah. Like I don't know. I've just gotten used to that, which I do feel like is important as an adult because you know, people, like we're saying, people have their own lives. You just can't depend on people maybe like you used to be able to drop everything and do things with you. So it's like really important to get kind of that self satisfaction
Yeah.
in a sense. I think that's like the bigger difference. I just don't see friends like that anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We're all saying the same answer basically, but I
Mhm.
was just saying like I don't really go out like I used to because it was just like, oh, we're together, we're bored. You know, you live down the stairs from me. Like, let's go
Let's
out.
do
Let's do
Yeah.
something.
drinks.
Yeah.
Let's
Right.
It
go
was more
to
like
eat.
convenience. Yeah.
Yeah, and then now like one of my closest friends, she lives like 35 miles away from me, so it's just like I first of all I have to get a whole new friend group, you know, and then now it's just like I see people when I do because it's a lot, especially like when all your friends move away. So it's just like you have to get in touch with like different people and stuff. It's kind of, and not to force it either. So it's just like, ugh, I guess I'll just go to work, come back home.
And even like how you were saying, Simone, about like kind of being selfish in a sense about, you know, having that time to yourself. I think right now in our lives, it's time to be more selfish because we're setting ourselves up to, you know, be in the places that we want. And then once we get to where we want to be, then we can be selfless with our time and like, you know, be able to give that more. But I think this is the time. Like it's our 20s.
Yeah.
We got
The roaring 20s.
yeah, it's our time to do what we want.
Yeah, and I think going back to this being our 20s and like being selfish, like going on a high note,
Mm-hmm.
comparing like our college years to your 20s, and you guys can like in the future think about your 20s, like what period of your life has been like the most fun? Was it your college years for Jordan and I, and then for you guys, you think it's going to be more fun? Your college years that you have now, or your 20s that are soon to come? I would think for me, I had the best time. Like pre-COVID, I think I argue my 20s. Like college was like college, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I think I came into myself and really had the freedom that I wanted in my first year out of college. And I'm really happy I decided to take this year and didn't go to straight back to school, because I feel like I lived like a mini Insecure, like in my head, like a TV show. Like it was tragic at times, and sometimes I was crying in my bathroom. Other times, like I was living my best life at happy hour. Like I think I had a great time, and I think I did what my 20s were meant to be.
I think if we're saying reckless, my college years are definitely more reckless. Like sometimes I forget about stuff and then I'll like share a story with someone and somebody be like, "That was really crazy." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." Like I don't know how we made it out that situation.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe now I have better discernment, but like
I don't.
I feel like right now okay. I feel like right now it might be a little more fun because I have more money. So I have more money. Most of my friends have more money. So it is more of like we going on this trip, like who can we invite? And it's like you don't have to stress as much in college where it's like, oh well, dang, they didn't save their money.
Right.
They can't go on the trip, they can't
Right.
put the deposit down. Like now it's like, okay, you also can kind of expect your friends to be able to
Do more.
do more things, right? Because you don't have the excuse that, well, you do sometimes, don't get me wrong, but like in college you really were broke, right?
Yes.
So
Right.
I feel like
Yes.
it's more fun in that
Down
sense because
bad.
it's way more freedom of like, listen, y'all, let's just go. Like, let's just put our money down, let's go. And you can do those things more than maybe what you could do in college.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, nothing can top like my first 2 years in college. Man,
Girl,
I had
same.
fun.
Same.
And it was just like fun that like looking like Smo was saying, like, how did I, make it out there safe? I don't know. Cause we used to, okay, this is like right around the time that Uber was just now popping. So like all the Ubers were like $4 and people
Oh,
still
I
want
What
to
a
piggyback.
time.
Yes.
And then like at that time a lot of people still like rented the houses around our campus to college students. So of course we're gonna have parties. So we used to walk in the middle of the night to parties and stuff like that. Like it was just crazy. And I'm looking back now, like I would never do that. And then like now that I'm like not even late 20s, I'm 23, but my tolerance for alcohol and stuff has gone down tremendously. So I be a little gone way too fast, and it's just like, you know what, I'm ready to go home and it's 10:30.
It's
Yeah,
So
you
you
just be
know,
tired and you want the day parties, right? Not the
the
night
day
the
parties.
Oh,
parties,
I
I
we
love
love a
love
the party
darty.
parties.
Because then
outside.
Darties
you
are
can go
it.
home and go to sleep when you're
Yes.
drinking. You don't gotta be
Yeah.
out till 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But
And
I
you can still wake up the next morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
I won't argue for the 20s though. One thing I argue in my 20s is like work for me, I'll speak for myself, ends on Friday. The weekend is to me. In college, I'll be at the party in some sweaty, gym. People be sweating. I'll be like, oh my God, that assignment's due on Monday. Like, I don't have to think about what's due, like, oh, I need to study tomorrow. Whereas, like, I
Right.
feel like, clock out on Friday, like, the weekend's mine. I don't
Right.
care. But I feel like college is like, I'm going to forget to do this quiz or something
Yeah.
while I'm in the party on my phone checking my school email.
It's kind of the opposite. Oh, sorry. I was just
Oh,
gonna.
no, you go. You're fine. You're fine.
Well, just going off of Lisa's part, I feel like that's the downside of adulting to the sense like my job doesn't always end on the weekend. Like I was telling them this weekend I have to work, and I can't say no.
Right.
And I can't say, oh, I'll wait till Sunday night. Like I literally don't have a choice. Whereas in college, you can be like, I'm gonna wait till 11:50 Sunday night
Yeah.
to do that assignment. That's like the downside of that. Like sometimes you don't have that freedom, and like it's not a situation you can control. Like this your employer who's paying your bills. You kind of have to say,
All right.
yeah.
I agree. I look forward to, well, okay, I just turned 20 this year, but I look forward to my early 20s because for me personally, being in college during this time, I it's not really anything to look forward to. Our junior year, I feel like personally was supposed to be like our best year. We're 1 foot in and 1 foot out the door, so
Yeah.
we got the hang of it. But we're online, and even last semester, our sophomore year was cut short because we had to leave campus, in the middle of second semester. So only thing I really have for college is
Freshman
freshman year,
year.
and then maybe a little bit of sophomore year.
Sophomore.
But if freshman year, you're so new, so it's still fun, but it's not the same as being a junior in college and like really understanding the ins and outs of it, like how to finesse something or your teachers. So I really look forward to now more so my 20s and college for at this age right now. It just kind of seems like I'm in the motion, just go to school, get my work. Not
Yeah.
really looking for any parties or anything.
Even like
Maybe senior year. Maybe senior year. I'm
let's
gonna leave senior
fingers
year.
crossed. I think
Yeah.
with definitely college has been more reckless. Like how y'all are saying, like y'all are looking back, and I feel like freshman year looking back, I'm like, oh girl, come on, what were we doing? But definitely, I'm looking forward to my 20s. I think like even how you were saying like the girls, we can plan a girls trip. Like,
Ooh,
come on.
yes. I want to go.
What? We done made so many like boards for
Girl,
our girls trip.
yes, we
It's
have
not
so
even
many Pinterest
funny.
and mood boards. It's not even funny. You would think that we were trip traveler
Yeah,
people.
we
Like, you would
already
think that we
went.
go on trips.
But I'm definitely looking forward to more like financial freedom, definitely, but also like experiencing different cultures and experiencing different people. Because although like college, you meet somebody new every day, but
Oh yeah.
in life, like seeing somebody as they're growing at that time, I think it's really fun to see. So I'm excited for my 20s. I'm looking
I am
forward
too.
to the freedom, the fun, but also the work. Definitely the work. But I'm excited.
I don't know if I'm
No,
looking
it's
towards that anymore now.
look, it's all whatever you can control, and like, or
Yeah.
not what you can control, whatever you can handle, but like,
Right.
just remember not to get overwhelmed. Like, pace yourself, give yourself other outlets. But yeah, I will say we always go way over our episodes, and actually this episode is probably a little lengthy, because we're all just enjoying each other's company, but we do want to get a
Right.
listener letter in.
Yes.
So
Okay.
yeah, so I think in general, even though we talk about it from our perspective, which can at times seem a little daunting, your 20s are fun. And like you said, the financial freedom, the opportunities, the ability to just kind of do what you want, and like you really running stuff, and can't nobody really stop you, right? Like your
Yes.
parents can't tell you
Yeah.
can't, because it's your money.
Right.
Things they do have an upside, and like we've had a lot of fun. So you guys just hang in there. You finish out this last of this virtual year. Hopefully it's only a semester.
Hopefully.
And yeah, you guys will come out and have a great time, but don't rush these years, I think, is our biggest thing. Enjoy them, take them as they come. So next we will do our listener letter, and then we'll finish out.
As we are approaching month infinity of staying in the house, we've really been enjoying using the Anchor app to record our podcasts. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. And let me tell you why. Number one, it's free. We don't got money for that. We are all recent grads out here. Times are rough. Also, there's free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you. So it can be heard on Apple, Spotify, many more platforms as well. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Get you some coins for Uber Eats. That's what I usually use my money to, but it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. To get started, download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get your podcast on and poppin'.
So today's listener letter is from McKinley, and she says, firstly, I love Kinda Adulting. Congrats on your podcast. You are all stars. Thank you, McKinley. I really appreciate it, sis. Well, you're probably not a sis, but that's okay. So I have a couple of friends that I have been friends with and known for a really long time, and they have become like family. However, I've really been second guessing or having second thoughts about whether or not I want to remain friends with them after some problematic behavior. But I'm not sure how I would even go about having this conversation. One of them has always seemed like an ally to Black and Brown communities, but some of their political stances supporting conservative ideals and silence on a lot of issues with police killings, racism, and discrimination are really off-putting for me. The other friend seems to be appropriating a culture that is not theirs through the way they talk, express themselves on social media, etc. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I can't help but be upset when I think about their actions. Am I being too petty or judgy? How do I know if this friendship is worth preserving? How would I even end a friendship that spans over a decade? Thank you for your help.
Great letter.
That's a good one.
I don't know. Okay, like I have I'm a big friendship person. So like I like having friends that having friends that span, years. Like since I since I was 1 digit, of years of age. And it's hard. Like I think it's like I don't know. Well, I don't know what y'all think. Yeah, y'all go.
I would say first, have you addressed the issue or brought it up? I don't. Did she mention that she's addressed the issue or brought it up to them? But I think that you start first. If you guys been friends for quite some time and you consider each other close family, then first take the step or the initiative to bring up how you feel. If it's your family, your close friends, and they should be accepting and understanding in how you feel, and see where the conversation goes. If they're receptive to it, then that gives you hope because they're listening, they're trying to understand. But if they're not, then that's when you kind of side eye. You're not really understanding how I'm feeling or where I'm coming from, because this is a serious matter and it's not something to joke with, especially with cultural appropriation and Black Lives Matter and whatnot. So take the step to have that conversation.
And it's definitely going to be uncomfortable because I've been in a situation where we've had to have conversations with a friend group or a friend that you've had for a very long time. And it's going to feel very weird because you're going to put
Yeah.
a lot of things on the table and you really always want to see your friends in the best light. And when you have to look at them a different way, it kind of hurts. But if you truly care and you want to make the longevity keep lasting longer, you have to be able to be like, listen, girl, that wasn't cool. Like, I don't like that. And I love you still, but at the same time, like, understand what you're doing.
I'm telling you this because I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think what you
Yeah.
guys are saying now, like, I'm trying to think about what I would do. I'm a big person, someone to know, like, confrontation is of nothing to me, which should be more. But not all confrontation is bad confrontation, like I've
Mm-hmm.
like learned. And like if you come to your friend, one thing that I learned through therapy, like, is like, what's your intent in the conversation? So before you even talk to somebody, like, what's your end goal? So like if your end goal is for y'all to still be friends in the day, like, come from that perspective that you're like, you
Yeah.
know what, like, even though you're doing these things, like when we have this conversation, like, I'm not going to kind of take it as an ultimatum. Like, in end of the day, in this conversation, before we even have it, I want us to still be friends. And I think that will guide you better and say, okay, like, maybe how do I tell them that they're doing wrong? Because for me, I'm not like these little IG girls. Like, it's hard for me to cut people off. Like, I can't do like the snip snip, like, done block. And so I think I would have to be like, try to find a way to make it work for me,
Mm-hmm.
even in my adult
Yeah.
years. Like, I still try to make, maybe it's a bad tendency to make stuff work sometimes, but getting better because
Um,
I have bills to pay. I don't have time to be falling all around the city like that no more.
Right.
yeah. So I think that it's something to definitely address. Um, I think when it comes to things like cultural appropriation, sometimes that can just take some more education around the subject.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I feel like for me personally, there are certain things I'm not willing to um, settle about or give some leeway for. And so to me, it depends on specifically like what these posts are about or what she is saying specifically, right? Because I think at this point in my life, like I'm not willing to have someone in my life that doesn't support me as a Black person and not me
Mm-hmm.
as their friend, but a Black person.
Yeah.
That's a big thing to me. And like coming from college, there were a few teammates that I had to kind of let go of. Like I wasn't best friends with them, but I, loved them.
Yeah.
I really had a strong relationship in that sense. And a lot of the things they were posting were very inappropriate to me, very
Mm-hmm.
derogatory, and plainly just dangerous things. Like, and I was like, I can't have these type of people in my life. So I know that those were maybe a shorter term friendship and longer term friendships are harder,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew that those were things I was not willing to sacrifice. And like, you can't not stand with me in an issue of like whether my life matters.
Yeah.
You can't
Amen.
you cannot argue another side. Like I like to say, you cannot argue devil's advocate when someone's life has been lost. Like I don't want to hear that.
Yes.
So those are things I won't sacrifice for. So for me, I would have to really do a deep evaluation of what they are putting out there, because also it's kind of embarrassing that people know that's your close friend and she's
Yeah.
out here saying whatever she's saying at
Right.
the same time. So like you really need to figure out, like, is this something I'm willing to work through with her, or is this just too far gone and like there's no coming back?
Yeah, I agree with what Simone is saying because, I mean, for me, I have a line, and it's just like certain things you don't cross with me,
Yes.
and you have to understand though, because like you've been friends with this person for a long time, that they've also grown, and you've grown as a person. So if y'all don't see eye to eye, it's well, okay, on certain things, it's not the end of the world. But if it's just like you're trying to tell somebody that somebody else's life matters, that people that look like you matter, like that's just something for me I just don't cross. And it's just like, if I have to try to convince you to believe that, something's off with you in your mind. And it's just like, do I even want to, like, why am I even like having to fight for this? Like, obviously there's something there that you have to go through and you have to deal with on your own. But it's just, I don't know, with the friendship being that long, it's just people change,
Mm-hmm.
and that can be a good or a bad thing. So for me, I'm a cut a person off type girl. So
At times.
I mean,
But
because it's just certain things it's just like I don't deal with. Like
Yeah.
I'm too grown for a lot of stuff.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it's just like you're too grown too. Like
Yeah, because you said that people grow, but typically your ideals change when you go to college or
Yeah.
in your early 20s because you're exposed to more things than maybe when you were at home with your parents.
yeah,
So it's like if you still think in this real kind of prehistoric,
closed-minded way.
these closed-minded
Yeah.
like ideals, like are you really going to change? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. That's something to think about because yeah, that's embarrassing. Can't nobody be out here. I got pictures with them on my Instagram, and they out here talking about Blue Lives Matter, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's Simone's best friend." Hell
No, it's
no.
Yeah,
not.
it's association.
Don't think
So
it
that's
is.
something to just think about. Maybe there's simple things. I truly feel like cultural appropriation. You can be like, "Girl, that ain't right." You need
Yeah.
to do
And they
like
need to fix it.
But if they out here reposting grandma's Facebook message, listen, talking about Blue Lives Matter
No.
and all this stuff, we can't do that, like we can't do that. We gotta let that go,
Mm-hmm.
So there's a line. You just gotta figure out where that is. But yeah, good advice. Is there any like advice you guys have for our listeners this week? Like any quick little memos that you guys came to from your week or day or anything?
I would say just take time to self-reflect, whether it be every day or at the end of the week. Just, a self-check-in. Self-care is very important, especially at a time like, well, it's always important, but at a time like this, not only is your physical health, but mental health, emotional health, and everything. Being a public health major, health is my thing. So just take time to check in on yourself, basically.
I think a big lesson I've learned this week, but really just from talking to y'all, is finding like the joy outside of things that can easily be taken away. Like, not like taken away, but school can stop, work can stop, but you still have to find like joy in other things that are outside of what you do on a daily basis. And finding balance. I've been thinking about that a lot too. Balance in life and work and school, just everything.
And to
Yeah.
go into that, you kind of don't really find balance. It's like a journey.
Yeah.
So like it's always changing. You just have to really adapt with it. But okay, but my
Oh God.
advice, because I'm the advice connoisseur,
You're not.
but just to be for you guys and all of our listeners who are still in college to just really enjoy the time. I know it's kind of like a struggle being on Zoom and all this other stuff, but like you have experience that like not that many people have had, or really at all, because I didn't have Zoom classes. But it's just like you have to make it your own and make the best out of it, like a really like crappy situation. But I would say like this is still your time to be do your socially distanced thing. We staying safe out here, we wearing our
Yes.
masks. But yeah, just don't take this time for granted, even still with it not going exactly how you thought it was gonna go.
Nothing on my part.
Yeah, I've been kind of calm, so I'm good for this week. Nothing's tragic. Has anything happened to me this? I think nothing happened to me this week. I need to learn how to parallel park, but that's probably it.
What'd you say?
I need to learn how to parallel park.
Oh yeah, well, we knew that already.
What happened to your YouTube videos?
My
You were
what?
watching them. Your
Oh,
YouTube videos.
the guy was talking too slow for me, and I was
Okay.
like,
All right.
You were watching YouTube videos to learn how to parallel park?
yeah.
Yes.
Also, on the
Oh
side
my
note,
goodness.
don't do this, but I think I'm gonna have to take the driver test again in Virginia. I think I waited too long.
Oh wow.
You probably need one anyway, the way you be driving and the fact that you can't parallel park. Maybe they can
Simone,
teach you
Simone,
during
Simone,
the test.
Simone, Simone.
They can help you
Simone,
during they can help you
Simone,
during the
Simone, you
test.
went to school in Alabama. Like, I'm sure you don't have to, I'm sure you parked in fields, but like around here in the city, we have to pair. There's a lot of cars, and there's cars in front and behind us. You even have a car in New York. I could
Listen, I
drive to
can
Harlem.
drive. Your butt be hitting stuff. We ain't
What?
gonna worry about that. It don't
What?
matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, we want to thank you guys, the
So much.
Reagan and Kalani, for joining us from the Cocoa Diaries. I feel like we really had a really good discussion with you guys. You guys are juniors, but you guys are very wise. And you guys had a lot of good knowledge to share with Our listeners who vary in age are not all old like us, and we're only like 3 years older than you, but that was a lot of fun, and we really hope that you guys are able to make the difference in your platform and spread all your wisdom, because y'all are really cool girls. I like y'all.
Thank y'all for
Thank you
having
for
us. This was
having
really
us.
fun. Like really
We
fun.
had a
I
good
enjoyed
time.
this.
Good.
This is a highlight of my week too.
Really, it was great. I wish we could have done this in person though, but social
Yeah.
media.
I know. But yeah, so we will end it there. Thank you guys again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. And that's a wrap. Thanks so much for your continued support. Follow us on our social media at Kinda Adulting Pod, and you can anonymously send in your listener letters at tinyurl.com/KA letters. See you next Monday at 12.